How sad is it that a person who claims to be a champion of democracy and freedom would purposely punish their loved ones simply because they have a different political view? Would someone who truly fights for democracy really punish others for having the freedom to form their own opinions? Well, it is no secret that many people are losing their minds over the thought of Donald Trump having been elected as the 47th president of these United States. We have seen reactions that range from teachers spouting expletive laced, hate filled anger at students who don't agree with them, to a woman yelling at the top of her voice and with great hostility at a child in a stroller, to wives telling other married women that they should poison their husbands who voted differently than they did. And this, of course, is just the tip of the iceberg in how people are losing their ability to have a mature response when democracy and freedom does not give them the outcome they want. Through what I've seen in countless online videos and media reports of people having such out of control responses, I can only speculate that these people only believe democracy works when they get what they want. Because, as I stated in the intro, if I truly believe in democracy and freedom, then I will maturely accept the outcome of what that democracy brings, even if it isn't what I wanted. Yet more and more, we are witnessing a growing number of people who cannot conduct themselves with a rational maturity when they don't get their way. In fact, what we do see are people who lose all sense of rationality and who then respond with extremely unreasonable reactions. People who, because democracy and freedom produced an outcome that was contrary to what they wanted, have lost the ability to maintain a mature, sensible perspective concerning their own reactions. So let's take a look at this article in the Huff Post written by Andrea Tate, which is entitled, "My Husband and His Family Voted for Trump, so I'm canceling Thanksgiving and Christmas. I will not unwrap gifts given to me by people who voted for a party that has talked about building internment camps and mass deportation. I knew he voted red. He knew I voted blue. I had hoped the most capable and most inclusive candidate would win. He hoped his idea of a better America would win. He won, and from where I stand, America lost. Now, at first take, you can see this is a well balanced thought process. She acknowledges, hey, we had differing views politically. I wanted my side to win. He wanted his. His won. I have the right to think America lost. The issue isn't that you have differences in opinion. The issue is how do you act from that opinion and how do you engage with people that opposed your opinion? In the aftermath of Tuesday night's results, still under the bed covers Wednesday morning, I scroll social media looking for hope. I unfriended a few short-sighted Facebook friends. No need to continue our digital relationships and witness their selfishness and hate. Here we see the beginnings of how she chose to deal with others who opposed her political views. She unfriended a few Facebook friends because she claimed that they were short-sighted, selfish, and hateful. Why did she think that? Well, simply because they didn't agree with her views. One of those personal rights to democracy and freedom she fights for protects. She then attempted to justify her conduct of turning her back on these friends by suggesting a proposed sense of self-righteousness because there was, quote unquote, no need to listen to their selfishness and hate. However, I noticed she never made the claim that those same selfish and hateful people unfriended her when Joe Biden won in 2020, after I'm sure she made public comments on Facebook and other platforms in support of her views. And exactly who doesn't believe that if those same people had unfriended her at that time, that she wouldn't have claimed how immature and extreme they were? But then she brings her intolerance into her marriage. Then I saw my husband's post. God bless America. God bless number 4547. It had a few likes and a few commenters joined in his celebration. He was downstairs in the kitchen making coffee, and I was upstairs avoiding him. I couldn't talk to him or even look at him. I immediately texted, I love you, but out of respect for me and all my liberal writer friends, can you please take down that post? Also, tell your family I love them, but I will not be coming for Thanksgiving and I won't be hosting Christmas. I need space. Shortly after the text, he brought me a cup of coffee in bed. I am sorry, he said. I understand. So, notice here the hypocrisy of those who publicly claim to believe in democracy and freedom, yet don't live within those professed beliefs. Because once again, nowhere does she state that when Joe Biden won in 2020, did her husband ever ask her to deny posting anything on her social media. Yet, despite that, his response to her request to remove his post was gracious and loving as he brought her a cup of coffee and offered his understanding of how she was feeling. Still, because she was angry at him for having the democratic freedom to have his own opinions, in her heart she would not receive his kindness with grace and maturity. Here is what she admits was in her heart towards this kind man who was being unfairly mistreated by his wife. She goes on to say, Did he? Did he really understand what he and so many others in this country had done? I could not forgive him. Not right now. I spent most of the morning doom scrolling next to the cold cup of coffee I ignored partially because I was distracted, primarily out of spite. Now, after sharing how she spent the next day trying to encourage others who also were struggling with the doomsday that was coming, she again returns to the subject of her husband. She says, Later that night, I briefly glanced at my husband and found myself not wanting to look into the eyes I love. I hated this divide. I wanted to touch his forearms and feel our connection, but I also felt an urge to punish him and deny him my touch. I am sorry about the holidays, but I cannot bite my tongue like I did with Hillary, I told him. I don't want to disrespect your parents or your brother and his family in their home or in our home, so it's best this way. No scenes. You can go see them. Seriously, I will not be in a room of 15 people who voted for Trump. He mentioned our son and his girlfriend who are coming home for Christmas. Will they feel bad, he asked. Bad? I think they already feel bad. Really bad, I thought. Instead, I said, we will have our own small holiday and it will be fine. Will it be fine? I have wondered that since 2016 when I saw my husband's stubbornness. How could a Latino vote for Trump? How can any of his family members vote for him? I don't know. According to what you say you champion for, I think they call that democracy and freedom. Haven't they believed any of Trump's comments about immigration? Aren't they worried about the reproductive safety of the young women and girls in our family? Aren't they worried about all of the other nightmares that could be headed our way? I was surprised he didn't argue about the change in holiday plans. Normally, it would be a bone of contention because of how close he is to his family. Somewhere inside, he must understand what this election outcome means to me. I know he has empathy for me, for which I am thankful. I will hold on to this like a life raft as I try to figure out how we move forward with our marriage. Yet isn't it interesting how she's claiming that she's holding on to his empathy as a life raft for their marriage, yet throughout all of this, she is clearly stating that he is the one that's acting maturely. He is the one that's being supportive and understanding and not treating her badly, despite the fact that she is unjustly treating him that way. After using the next paragraph to virtue signal how righteous she is, she then goes on to say this. I don't know how or when I can greet my husband in the morning with my usual hug when I wrap my arms around his strong shoulders, smell the intoxicating scent of his spicy cologne, and smile, knowing we are one. We are now two, and it's agonizing. Still, I know he is a good man and he would do anything for a family member or friend, which makes what he has done even more infuriating and even more painful. There is simply too much history and love between us to let this election tear us apart. But it will not be easy to repair the damage that has been done. It will take time, patience, and tough, radically truthful conversations. So look, this is a sad commentary of how emotionally dysfunctional many people in this country are when they are prone to buy into a political party's propaganda. The mainstream media in this country has so become the mouthpiece of excessively promoted misinformation, disinformation, political propaganda, and in many cases, just flat out lies, that those who are prone to react to what they are told with an emotional immaturity become incapable of dealing rationally with even their loved ones. I mean, remember, there are women out there calling for wives to poison their husbands because the democracy and freedom they claim to be champions of did not give them what they expected from it. These things clearly demonstrate how, through the usage of propaganda by politicians and the media, rational thinking, logic, and common sense can easily be rejected for the benefit of a childish intolerance and its all consuming desire for retribution. And oftentimes, as one can easily see on the internet, these emotionally stunted people, without reservation, will unjustly sacrifice even their loved ones upon the altar of said retribution. As in this case, this woman openly states that her husband is a good man. Yet instead of finding the strength to honor that, whereby she would choose to continue being a good woman towards him, she instead chooses to deny the good man that he is and paint him out as someone who she now has separated her from emotionally and physically, as if he is a horrible husband deserving of her mistreatment. She has gone so far in her pettiness that she has chosen to question how she can go on in a marriage to this acknowledged good man. This good man that she admits to not looking into the eyes that she loves and not touch his arms to feel their connection because she wants to punish him due to the fact that she could not get past his freedom to have an opinion that differs from hers. She laments the shameful conduct of this good man and his family, who were not apparently smart enough to acknowledge how Donald Trump will destroy the world. What a mature, praiseworthy reward she is giving to this great husband just because he dared to have his own thoughts within the democracy and freedom she claims to champion. So, after her admitting that she no longer considers them one in their marriage, but now two, how she admits because she knows that he has empathy for her that she will, I guess, graciously attempt to cling to that as a life raft to keep their marriage afloat, one cannot help but acknowledge that this woman is not someone who truly respects the freedom of true democracy. I think it can be reasonably argued that she has the belief system of an authoritarian, as she is intentionally punishing him for not thinking and acting according to the way she thinks that he should. After all, I want to emphasize the point that she clearly states in this article that because he is such a good man that would do anything for his family and friends, him not agreeing with their political views makes this even more infuriating and painful to her. I think it is very sad that all of the love and wonderful things she admitted she has received from this good man over the years just does not mean enough to her that she would respond to his right to have his own opinion without the intentional retribution he is having to endure from her. Fortunately, as is oftentimes the case with those who get off by inundating the internet with countless self edifying videos of what champions of freedom and democracy they are, they will eventually end up publicly revealing their own hypocrisy. And through their actions of purposely mistreating others because they have differing opinions, they demonstrate that in reality, they are the ones who are authoritarians. Because if you don't fall in line with their beliefs, you will suffer their wrath. I don't even have to ponder what her views would be if the shoe was on the other foot and she was the one being unjustly treated by her husband. People like this need to become aware that whenever the media or politicians speak, what they say should be researched for the sake of the truth. Because clearly, if people have not by now learned that misinformation and disinformation is the new media/political speak, then they will not only continue hurting themselves because of how naive they are, but also potentially those around them that love them. And more importantly, who don't deserve to be harmed by them. I will end by saying this. In my humble opinion, the greatest challenge this country of ours is facing, the greatest threat to our democracy and freedom, are not the politicians who lie to us. It is not the biased propaganda-filled media machine. It is people who will believe the propaganda, who will believe the lie because they are either too lazy or too uncaring to investigate the information provided by these resources to discover the truth. If we, the people, cared enough about the truth to ensure that we fact check what we are told, then politicians and media propagandists would quickly realize the need to stop harming gullible Americans with their lies. And people like this woman, who is punishing this innocent good man and his family unjustly, would probably have escaped this unnecessary turmoil. So, those are my thoughts. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. And while you do that, please don't forget to punch that like button, share the video with others, and make sure to hit that notification bell so you'll never miss a new video. I would greatly appreciate it if you would also hit that subscribe button, as we all know how important that is for a channel to grow. For those of you who have already subscribed, I just want to again say thank you very much. I really appreciate the support. So, as always, I'd like to say God bless you, and thanks so much for taking the time to listen. Until next time.